Hi everybody, welcome back to Mando Lessons. My name is Baron Collins Hill, and in this lesson I want to talk about how much you should be practicing, when you should be practicing, long practice sessions versus short ones, and how to sort of get the most out of your practice time. This lesson is going to be a bit more of a discussion than on my other lessons, so if you're looking for something a little more hands-on, check out mandolessons.com where I've got hundreds of free lessons waiting to get watched. You can subscribe here to the Mando Lessons YouTube channel where I put out new lessons every single week. All my lessons are always free. That said, there's a couple ways to donate, which is always appreciated but not required. You can become a Patreon member and get access to lessons a day early, patron-only live streams, all that kind of fun stuff. One of the most important things about playing the mandolin and practice in general of any sort of skill is to maximize the amount of fun that you're having while you do it. So in my mind, if you're really kind of forcing yourself to practice for hours on end, it's really your practice quality is going to diminish. You're not going to be having as much fun. It's going to become a chore, and you're not going to want to do it. For that reason, I recommend that people do short amounts of practice multiple times in a day rather than a very long practice session once a day or once a week, things like that. It's going to be much more beneficial to pick up the mandolin for 2 minutes twice a day than to pick up the mandolin for 2 hours once on a Saturday. Even the 2 hours is going to be longer than 4 minutes a day. You're not going to get as much out of the instrument. You'll get tired, your brain will get distracted, and you'll end up not having the same quality of practice that you would in short bursts. If you've got a new technique that you're working on or a new tune, I really recommend spending 60 seconds every time you pick up the instrument to try to get your pick hold right or work on that hard part of the tune, and then move on to something more fun. You need to balance your practice times with new material, also just having fun so you associate playing music with a enjoyable experience, and that way you'll be more likely to pick up the mandolin whenever you've got the time. There's some aspects of learning to play a musical instrument that just take time. It takes days and weeks and months and years, and that shouldn't be discouraging because you can always have fun wherever you're at, playing music at whatever level you're at. You know, there's things like holding the instrument with basic technique. It's the first thing I teach in my beginner series. That said, it's something that I'm constantly coming back to, and I've been playing the mandolin for 20 years. So, you know, it's not something that you say, okay, I'm going to practice for 2 hours straight how to properly hold the mandolin. That's not going to be very fun. It's not going to be very beneficial because who can focus on something kind of abstract as that idea for that long of a period of time? And instead, you know, try to get the idea in your head of like, okay, I feel fairly relaxed. Then move on to something much more fun, like actually getting some musical, enjoyable sounds out of the instrument. The same thing goes for practicing scales. Scales are a great thing to practice if that's something you're interested in, but don't force yourself to play scales for hours on end when you would much rather be strumming some chords and singing songs or playing some tunes. When I'm working on new skills and techniques on the mandolin, I try to, every time I pick up the instrument, say, okay, I've noticed I've been pushing too hard with my left hand lately. So I'm going to take 60 seconds and put as much dedicated focus into a good left hand finger pressure as I can, and then after that, move on. Maybe come back to it a couple minutes later, but it's not going to be beneficial, again, to put hours and hours into really minute aspects of playing the instrument. To sum up some of these ideas, I think I have 3 main objectives when it comes to playing music and practicing. Number 1 is always have fun. It's much more important to have fun than sort of feel stressed out about, oh, I should really work on my scales or my chords, and I'm being a bad musician by not doing that. Music is first and foremost kind of escape and being a fun activity, and if you turn it into a chore, you're not going to want to do it, and you won't be interested in practicing. Number 2 is always short bursts rather than taking long periods of time. Your brain's going to get distracted, you're going to get discouraged, and your focus is going to wander. So, you know, like I said, 60 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever it takes of focused practice on what you need to learn, and then moving on to something else and more fun. It's going to be much more beneficial for you. And third is to understand that some aspects of playing music just take long periods of time, and it's not something that you can sit down and practice in a more linear fashion like you can with a tune or a scale. Things like holding the instrument are really going to take time, and getting comfortable with the instrument in your hands takes weeks and months and years, and you shouldn't let that discourage you from playing, but just know that it's not worth beating yourself up because everything isn't clicking all at once. It just takes some time having this little instrument strapped around your shoulders and a pick in your hand to get used to what it should feel like and to kind of maximize your comfort with the instrument. I hope you found some of that helpful. Again, lots more hands-on lessons over at mandolessons.com, and I hope to see you over there soon. New lessons every week. Subscribe if you haven't already. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.